Good morning. This homily is going to be my personal story of struggling with being too busy this week and how this particular gospel passage helped me. I'm going to focus on two things Jesus said in our gospel today. First, that God's yoke is easy and his burden is light. God's burden is light. And secondly, that God reveals his wisdom to the little ones rather than to the wise and learned. I'll explain why that is. The main message of this homily is that there's a difference between what you and I think is important and what God thinks is important. There is a difference between what you and I think is important and what God thinks is important. When we consistently feel overwhelmed or burdened, we may be taking on more than God intends for us. Jesus' invitation to come to him for rest is a real, practical truth, not merely an ideal. So here's my personal story. This past week, I had another busy week that included working on our budget. We were on a July through June budget cycle, or fiscal year, working on replacing some retiring employees. In fact, our newest employee is here, Gary Rufo. Can you please stand up? Let's give him a big hand. Gary is taking over for Annette Kubalanza, who is retired. And so we're really happy to have Gary here and to be part of our community in addition to his place here in church. Numerous meetings, ministry commitments, funerals, and then unexpectedly, 3 hospital visits to the sick and dying and their families. Because of these unexpected pastoral needs, I had to cancel a couple meetings and postpone my work on this homily. But I discerned that God was inviting me to let go of my plans and to trust him and to focus on the people who needed my care most in that moment. And by divine providence, the canceled meetings were resolved through simpler means, and I discerned that God wanted me to use this situation for my homily today. I see 2 key lessons to take away from this. First, for myself and for all of us, to hold on loosely to our plans rather than a clenched fist about what we've got to do. Leave an open hand with what we need to do. Be willing to set aside our agenda when God places something else before us. It might be your wife needing your help or just a listening ear. It might be your kids. It might be aging parents. It might be a struggling adult child. All of these things are important, and these are things that we may have to let go of our plans to take care of. And the second thing is we need to remain childlike before God. The little ones in this gospel are those who are humble, teachable, and flexible, open to God's guidance. Pride and self-reliance can make God's wisdom difficult to recognize. And so when life becomes busy and overwhelming, we are encouraged to pause, to pray, and to ask God, what does he truly want me to do at this moment? Through prayerful attentiveness, God can help us discern both what to embrace and what to let go, leading to greater peace and trust in his providence. And so, since God's yoke is easy and his burden is light, I want you all to enjoy this 4th of July weekend. And in honor of this 4th of July, the 250th anniversary of the founding of this nation, I want to share with you some words from Pope Leo from 2 days ago. This is the end of his speech. Our ancestors, men and women of diverse backgrounds, religions, and languages, we're able to find common ground and the strength necessary to pursue a better future. The principles that inspired America's founding fathers and mothers brought them together in a single cause, a common dream. Unity lent strength to that dream, giving rise under God to the United States of America. The Latin slogan of the United States, E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one, is part of that ideal. In order for a nation to flourish, it must be truly united. United not by goals bound to momentary endeavors, but by ideals that never fade with the passing of time. May the principles of a shared human dignity, equality, and the rights laid out in the Declaration of Independence ever be a source of such unity and a guiding light for the present moment and the years to come. I commend all of you, as well as the future of this nation, to the one who is himself the source of true freedom and lasting peace, the one whose very name is peace. He closed by saying, "May God bless America."